Humans have a way of trying to control everything. We want to be the ones building things and being the ones behind how everything functions. However, sometimes things aren't really in our control. Some things are controlled by nature and they do their own thing. And all we can do is just stand there in awe of their beauty of them. That's a natural phenomenon. And in this beauty, we're going to be taking a closer look at 20 of the rarest natural phenomena ever filmed. These waves might look like an animation, but they're actually just nature. The sand and ocean sparkle a neon blue or green every time it moves. The reason why it can glow like this is because of a chemical process called bioluminescence. This lets the living things inside the ocean and sand produce light. Usually thunder is white or different shades of blue, but this thunder straight up escaped from the gates of hell. These are called red sprites. They're basically a jolt of electricity released right on top of thunderclouds. These red sprites are very rare and very new too. The first time they were discovered was in the late 80s. The glaciers and ice caps of the world are slowly melting, but there's still a lot we don't know about them. These are penitents, which are formed because of high-altitude glaciers when the air is very dry. They end up looking like thin shards of ice facing the sun. It's named penitents because it kind of looked like a crowd of people kneeling and doing penance. Norway might be famous for the northern lights, but that's not the only natural phenomenon in the country. The Saltstraumen maelstrom takes place every 6 hours or so after 87.9 billion gallons of water pass by the strait between Saltstrumfjord and Skidstedfjord at 23 miles per hour. But these numbers can change depending on how strong the currents are. The phenomenon is so unbelievably beautiful to look at that it actually became one of Norway's main attractions. When you think of waterfalls, you probably wouldn't really think about fire, right? Well, this phenomenon is just that. The Eternal Fire Falls is a waterfall at the Shale Creek Preserve in New York. There's a small flame right behind the waterfall which was caused by a natural gas spill. The flame can be extinguished, but the natural gas is always there. Most of the time, the passerby relight the fire. Mammatus clouds are ice-filled clouds that kind of look like bubbles in the sky. These clouds are quick, they can extend miles in any direction within seconds. Despite how pretty these clouds look, they're actually really dangerous. They're usually associated with severe weather like storms or hailstorms. So if these clouds ever appear in your area, get home as soon as possible. Starlings on their own are regular birds that you wouldn't really think much of, but in flocks, they can shock you. Right before dusk, these birds group up in flocks that consist of hundreds and thousands of starlings. Then they all fly together in unison, making an unreal formation in the sky. No one really knows why exactly starlings do this, though. They do group up to defend themselves against predators, but they also do this when there aren't any predators around at all. Volcanoes erupting are already a super cool event as it is. Adding lightning to the mix only makes it crazier. This phenomenon has been around for quite some time now, but scientists have only just figured out how it works. Volcanic lightning usually takes place after an electrical discharge is released by the volcanic eruption. It ends up becoming this breathtaking phenomenon that almost looks like it's fake. If you're planning on visiting Chile, make sure to stop by the Marble Cave on Carretera Austral Highway. The Marble Cave in Chile was created after nearly 6,000 years of waves washing up against the calcium carbonate, which carved out intricate caverns and tunnel systems over time. They also change colors depending on the time of year. The caves are usually the bluest during the winter. The blood moon usually takes place when the Earth's moon is in a lunar eclipse. The moon itself doesn't actually turn red, it's just a trick of the light. When the Earth's sunrises and sunset light fall on the surface of the moon, it makes the moon look blood red. After being used to seeing the moon be white, the blood moon is totally unbelievable to look at. The Sahara Desert might be known for being endless sand, but there are actually some pretty cool things in there. One of the things is the Eye of the Sahara. This is a dome in the middle of the desert with a radius of 25 miles, which is made up of all kinds of sandstone. These sandstones have been laying together for centuries at this point, and it's created a dome that can be literally seen from space. The door to hell, or the gate to hell, is a burning natural gas field that has collapsed into a cavern in Darvaza, Turkmenistan. The fire in this cavern never extinguished. People have actually tried to put the fire out, but it just didn't work. On top of that, no one knows who ignited this fire in the first place. Snow rollers are a very rare natural phenomenon where chunks of snow become a cylindrical snowball shape that kind of looks like a donut. The reason why you'll probably never come across snow rollers in real life is that there are several conditions that are needed for them to form, like the weather and surface. Sun pillars are basically beams of light that can extend upwards or downward from a very bright source, which is usually the sun. The phenomenon typically takes place through the reflection of light. The end result is a beautiful ray of sunshine you probably didn't expect to see. When you think of mountains, the first thing that comes to mind is lush and green everywhere, but the Xingye National Geopark looks more similar to a rainbow. Every layer is a different color and doesn't even look real. Over the years, the colors have changed because of the soil erosion and the climate, but it only looks better. We're all used to seeing rainbows during the daytime, but these ones take place during the night. Moonbow lunar rainbow is a phenomenon that usually occurs when the rays from the moon are completely refracted through the water droplets that are in the air. But since the moon's rays are way duller than the sun's, these rainbows are very rare and super faint even if you do find them. Since monarch butterflies can't handle the cold temperature, they get ready to migrate during the winter in mainly North America. More than 500,000 butterflies all come together in the United States or Canada and get ready to migrate to central Mexico. This is considered one of the most breathtaking phenomena in the entire world. Unfortunately, it's been getting rarer and rarer because of climate change. When you think of the lava from volcanic eruptions, the first thing that comes to mind is bright orange, but very rarely it can also be blue. The reason why lava appears blue is because of the combustion of sulfuric gases. Some of the gases can even turn into liquid sulfur, which can make the blue fire too. The rare phenomenon is incredible and can only be captured during the night. Asperites is a special cloud formation that looks a lot darker and more like storm clouds. Despite looking like storm clouds, they never actually lead to storms. They're most commonly spotted in the plains of the United States during the morning. These clouds are actually the Earth's newest clouds and were discovered in 2017. While rainbows look like rainbows, they actually have nothing to do with them. They're made in light, high-altitude clouds that look similar to bright flames lighting up the blue sky. This phenomenon is so beautiful, it doesn't even look real. Alright, which one of these natural phenomena did you find the craziest? Make sure to let us know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trend Joint, and we'll see you in the next one.